Alrighty, welcome back to another video. So I'm actually trying out a different type of setup for this, for recording, because what I originally used was XSplit, which had a limit of 30 frames per second and 720p video if you didn't want it watermarked, and I switched to OBS, but the problem I was having there was that nothing would capture the thing there when I used game capture. Just for whatever reason, it just would not do that, and I struggled for a little while trying to figure that out, trying to figure out how the fuck to get it to work. Until I seen a nifty little thing there called window capture, in which I clicked that, and boom, it instantly worked. So, you know, that. But anyway, let's get that out of the way. Just say that I figured it out. Let's see how this works. Hopefully the microphone sounds good, because I think it sounds much better on OBS. I just never used OBS because it was always clunky for me. Anyway, let's move on to Cerberus and see how this works out. Oh my, it's been a little while since I put this. For the first time in far too long, you found yourself with some free time unburdened by the needs of the household. After making sure the house wouldn't self-destruct while you did so, you elected to spend your precious free afternoon catching up on some much-needed sleep. Your sleep is not a peaceful one, however, and disturbing visions swirl around in your head like a goldfish in a bowl. Justice joins a professional soccer team backed by a cheerleading squad consisting of Modius, your college elocution teacher Mr. Thorndike, and Grandmother Taker herself. Alright, we're going to need some fan pictures of Justice in a soccer outfit. I would really love to see that. Your dreams are soon interrupted, however, by a rather strange rocking sensation, accompanied by an all too familiar voice. Wake up, it's Taker. Confusing as your dreams may be, you still fight your hardest to remain asleep, as your conscious mind is dredged from a subconscious pits of slumber into the waking world. You open your eyes to see 3 sets of luminous red orbs staring back at you. Cerberus sits on your bed, one of her 3 bodies sitting cross-legged up upon your chest. That was a very difficult sentence for me to read. I'm not entirely sure why, it just sort of did. She rocks back and forth with your breaths, tipping at extreme angles that would topple people with worse balance than hers. Seeing that you're awake, all 3 bodies break into identical excited smiles. You're awake! Finally awake! We've been trying to get your attention for a while now. You must have really been tired. I was. Well, technically I still am. Can I ask why you're here? You can! So Cerberus, why are you here? The body straddling you beams, leaning in, almost close enough to touch noses. Her voice comes out as an excited whisper, her breath hot on your cheek. It's time to learn the truth. She's been holding out on us all this time, and we've had enough. Today we're taking back what's ours. A small seed of worry plants itself firmly in the back of your mind as you hazard your next question. Hazard? Okay. You're talking about Lucifer, aren't you? You still want to ask her about your bodies? Cerberus nods seriously, her expression growing a shade darker. We feel things the other girls don't. We're more potent, but we don't really understand anything about where we came from. Lucifer is the first demon we can remember, so she must have the answers. Only problem is, every time we ask her, she finds a way to avoid answering us. She trapped us in a laundry room last time. That would be funny to see, not gonna lie. How did she manage that? She made a sign. It distracted us. What sort of sign? It was a very mysterious sign. We couldn't figure out what it meant. What did it say? Only 2 words. Guess. Guess what? She locked the door while we were reading it, and we were stuck there until judgment let us out. Well, that explains the howling that kept you awake last night. We aren't giving up, though. We're going to talk to Lucifer and make her tell us everything. And how do you plan on accomplishing that? Do you really have the raw power to force Lucifer to tell you the truth? Cerberus rolls her eyes in mild frustration. Of course not, dum-dum. That's why we woke you up. We need your help. Come on, come on. The seed of concern has laid down roots and is starting to push leafy tendrils up through your consciousness. Either obliviation or willfully ignorant to your mounting worry, Cerberus heeds you out of bed and into your day clothes. Her eager hands perhaps a shade too much so. The demoness leads you out of your room into the 2nd floor landing, talking non-stop. Okay, we've been watching Lucifer very carefully over these past few days. We know her schedule, the top to bottom, inside and out. She always comes upstairs for a glass of wine sometimes after 3, so that's when we'll strike. Lucifer either likes her wine or she's turning into an alcoholic. Or just stressed out. Could be either one. Probably the latter. Well, we have the high ground. You don't want to try anything when someone has the high ground. You bite your lip, concerned. So run me through this plan of yours. Lucifer comes walking up the stairs and then you. Opening. Okay, cheeky Cerberus, I like that. Opening a small locker by the banister, Cerberus withdraws a tangled, gladiator-style weighted net. 2 of her bodies struggle to untangle the massive porous fabric, while the 3rd one turns to continue her lecture. We'll wait up here, just out of sight. Then, when she comes up the stairs, we net her. Like a fish. A fish that won't talk to us. Imprison the Queen of Hell in a net? This isn't some Saturday morning cartoon, and that little thing won't stop her for more than a couple seconds. We know, that's why we decided. 2 thin, but surprisingly strong arms wrapped around your waist. Grunting, Cerberus hoists you off the ground, holding you triumphantly over her head like a deadlift champion. We're going to throw you down after the net. We heard Justice saying that Lucifer has some weakness for you. So we're going to use you as our secret weapon. Oh boy. That cat had good. Whoa, hold on there, girls. You can't just pinch me down the stairs. They're African mahogany. Put me down and let me talk about this. But your efforts are futile. Cerberus bears you inexorably towards the banister, all the while continuing to detail her master plan. Then, when you've pinned her down, and she's all tangled up in the net, we'll ask Lucifer. Oh. Ask me what? Cerberus whirls around at the voice, pinwheeling your body through the air. Lucifer stands at the base of the stairs, eyebrow cocked and hands on her hips. Just what are you doing with my taker? Cerberus drops you to the ground with an unceremonious thud. You get to your feet, dusting yourself off as Cerberus, her plans scuppered, desperately tries to come up with a good explanation for her behavior. We were playing a game. No, wait. Taker saw a spider and her was super scared. Cerberus visibly deflates in the face of Lucifer's steely gaze. Her prolific excuses diminishing to a very barely audible mutter as she averts her gaze. Gathering herself, you address Lucifer in Cerberus' stead. It's alright, Lucy. We were just horsing around. Cerberus got into the WWE tapes again and wanted to try performing a backbreaker. That's actually clever. Lucifer makes her way up the stairs, eyeing the 2 of you suspiciously. In a blur of motion, one of Cerberus' bodies darts towards. Brandishing the net, you have barely enough time to stick out your leg. sending her tumbling head over heels into the banister. She hits the wood with a crash, struggling to extra. Oh my god, the thuds there, man. Come on. It's just like anybody falling down is just like, if you're like even like a child or like a 90-year-old man, you'll find it funny. Well, if you have a sense of humor anyway. Extra sight herself from the net. As she thrashes around, you previously admit that you were underestimating the mesh webbing. Unaware of the finer points of the drama unfolding on the landing, Lucifer crests the top of the stairs. Turning her gaze on you, Lucifer's voice comes out in a dangerous monotone. One more chance to explain. What are you doing? I'm not in the mood for jesting or playing around, so if I don't like your answer... She lets the threat hang there, unspoken, but unmistakable in its intent. You cast a questioning glance at Cerberus, who nods wordlessly, steeling herself. You place a hand on one of her shoulders and turn back to Lucifer. Lucy, we have some things we need to talk about with you about. We are disagreeing on how exactly to get your attention when you showed up. Lucifer's countenance softens a touch, and she puts her hand on the bridge of her nose, sighing deeply. You and the rest of the household. Well, whatever it is, I shall have to wait until later. I have a job for the two of you that can't wait. From a pouch at her waist, Lucifer withdraws 4 sticks of railroad chalk. Fanning them out, she offers one of them to you and the rest to Cerberus. I decide her home security is in much need of some refurbishment. Cameras and locks won't be enough to deter a demonic assault. We're going to need something much sturdier than what we currently have. And your solution is chalk? In a sense, I wish for you to draw me a ritual circle that will allow me to better ward the house from attack. Reaching into her back pocket, the Queen of Hell withdraws a small piece of paper, upon which is traced a solid-looking, asymmetrical sigil. This is the... Oh my god. Look at these words. I don't know like a lot of the English lexicon, so how do they expect me to fucking read this? Goethean glyph of Halfas. Oh, people are going to be mad about that one. It acts as a sort of battery through which we can channel magic into static objects. I need you to trace this around the house of the... Oh, I'm just having trouble talking today. I need you to trace this around the house, outside of the house. Once you finish drawing it, Justice and Judgment will be able to channel some of their considerable power into the glyphs to buffer our defenses. Do this for me and I'll consider honoring your request. Do we have a deal? Yes. Good. Now I must depart. I have much to do and increasingly sparse amounts of time to do it in. Departing, Lucifer leaves the two of you pondering a lengthy task ahead of you. After a moment of contemplation, Cerberus speaks. Who does she think she is? Imitating Lucifer's often lofty manner of speech, one of Cerberus's bodies addresses the other two in eerie pantomime. So sorry, but I just can't be bothered to talk to you, Cerberus. Maybe if you do an extra job working for me, I might consider giving you the time of day. He turns back to you. She didn't even say she would hear us out, mind you. Whatever the others say about us, we do pay attention. Well, sometimes that is. You shake your head, mildly impressed. I will say, her ability to wrap people up in her plans is commendable. Her ascension to the throne seems more and more believable every day. Cerberus says nothing, her face sport identical scowls of irritation. Perhaps now isn't the best time to compliment Lucifer's abilities. Just try to get this chore over and done with. We can make plans and work at the same time. Ugh, do we have to? You got your silence answer for you, and Cerberus rolls her eyes, however. She follows you outside without further complaint. Okay, that is a cute picture. Once outside, you're quickly settled into the rhythm, marking sign after sign on the house's exterior. After studying Lucifer's diagram for a moment, Cerberus sets to work alongside you. Working in perfect sync with yourself, she soon manages to coat a significant stretch of the house with a densely packed layer of sigils. The two of you chat as you work. Cerberus's speaking body changes as she rotates around you, chalking in symbols. Taker, do you have a purpose? Purpose? Like a thing? Like a thing I'm meant to do? Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not sure I do, Cerberus. I can't think of any one particular goal my life would be incomplete without. Is that what you mean? Yeah. I guess the closest thing I have would be my ties to you and the other girls. What about you? What do you think your purpose is? We aren't sure. The John and Elena have their moral vices, and Justin and Judgment both like seeing jobs through to the end. The window above you opens and Lucifer pokes her head out. A mostly empty bottle of wine dangles from her fingertips. Looks like Cerberus's prediction was right on the money. After you're done, run along to the store to pick me up more of this Chateau Sanguine, won't you? This bottle's almost dry. Without waiting for a reply, Lucifer withdraws her head, shutting the window behind her. Cerberus punches the side of the house, her blow cracking the old brickwood. And that old goat will never be happy unless she's telling someone what to do. We're not a servant to be ordered around or some pet to be fondled at her leisure. Why do we have to do her dirty work? If it's independence you want, I'm sure we could negotiate too. But Cerberus is already shaking her head at your suggestion. No. We don't want independence. We just want a direct answer from her. You keep saying you want answers when I'm still in the dark as to what that means to you. All the other demons understand their place in the world order. They have a purpose, and the purpose exerts a strong pull on their character. We don't know what that feels like, what our purpose is. Sometimes we get these flashbacks, a certain urgency to do something, but there's no feeling of fulfillment or purpose to it. Until we saw Mammon threatening you in the park, that is. It was like reaching back to scratch an itch, but realizing halfway through that the source of the itch is buried deep in our skin. That's what it felt like when I got close to Mammon. Like there was purpose in me being there. Apart from you saving me, you mean? Well, it's complicated, but it felt like the two are connected in some way. We got this incredible feeling that we pounced on her in the park, and again when we chased her down in the alley. We felt like we could have fought her forever and never gotten bored. Do you think your purpose is tied with Mammon in some way? Cerberus nods after a moment, though. Yes, we do. And we think Lucifer knows the specifics, and still won't share them with us. We've been doing some thinking. We have some importance to ask you on the subject, on our benevolent queen. Do you trust in Lucifer's intentions? Do you really think she wants what's best for the rest of us? Oh boy. That, oh boy. Going by her personality, eh? Queen of Hell. Huh. You know, I'm really thinking that this is a yes. Because she seems to have like this... Well, this... how do I explain this? It's not exactly a care that she has for people, for her other demons and such. It's more of like she respects them enough to know that their safety does come into play. That doesn't exactly mean that she, you know, thinks of their interest in mind. But then again, it does show that she doesn't, you know, I guess she does have some, like, sense of... Oh boy. This is hard to answer. I would say yes. I'd say yes, she does. Yes, I do. She might be manipulatory, secretive, and dangerous to oppose, but I think she has our best interest at heart. By extension, at least. Her fortune is as tied to ours as ours is to hers, and I trust in her ability to remain interested. How can you still trust in her after everything you've seen? After she's made it perfectly clear she doesn't care for our peace of mind. It's not quite as simple as trust, but I believe that Lucifer doesn't perform actions rationally. If she's keeping secrets from us, there's likely a good reason for it. We may not understand it right now, but there may be an excellent reason for keeping us in the dark. Don't think that'll stop us from approaching Lucifer, though. We will find our purpose. But what if finding your purpose means surrendering your agency? Surrendering? How so? Well, is it really worth knowing your purpose if knowing your purpose dictates your actions? All three of the demons' bodies cock their heads at you. Come again? You sound like those angry old guys we used to torment in hell. The ones with the funny white dresses. I heard they used to call Lucifer by a different name. Hey? Something or other. Old men in white dresses. Were they philosophers? That's it. Philosophers. You sound just like them, talking in circles like the words are spaghetti noodles. Well, in simple terms, then, would knowing what you are supposed to do compromise your freedom to choose for yourself? Do demons have free will? Free will? Yes. Do demons possess the ability to think and do things outside of prescription and habit, to change the world around them in unpredictable ways? Like with fire? Ooh, we're good at fire. Watch, I'll give you an example, one that doesn't carry a burn risk. You finish tracing the most recent symbol of the side of the house, you examine it for a minute before setting the chalk aside. Reaching out, you smudge the sigil with your finger, mirroring the surface of the protective glyph. Oh, get me on them gilfs. Protective glyph, and compromising its shape. I told Lucifer we would ring the house in these markings for her, and it's in my nature to hold to the promise I make. However, should I choose to, I could freely sabotage the work I'm doing and put us all in danger. Now, obviously I won't do that, but the freedom to choose right from wrong remains nonetheless. As you repair the damages done to the sigil, Cerberus furrows her brow, trying to make sense of what you've just said. I don't see why anyone would want to be able to make wrong choices. Well, some people don't. Some people live their entire life with precepts telling them what they can and can't do, and that's a choice as well, I suppose. But even if a choice may not be in the human's best interest, we are free to make that choice to the best of our abilities. Traveling to hell in search for a harem, that was a choice that I made that was probably not my best interest, but I had a dream. A dream that I was willing to risk my life to see through. A dream. Huh. You say you want to corrupt the mortal world. You say that you want to discover more about yourself. But how do you want those things to come about? Outcasts like Mammon already seem to have firm rooting in this world. If you wanted to, you could leave for hell this very day. Oh my god, what time is it? Oh, 11. That's probably why I'm having trouble to read. My job has made me very routine at this point. Relatively confident that the earth will twist towards corruption without your hands in the air. But we don't want that. Cerberus looks up at you, her eyes shining with epiphany. We want to be the ones to do that. So I challenge you with one final question. How do you want to go about learning more about yourself? Do you really believe you'll be happy with the information you'll get from Lucifer if it dictates your purpose from this point forwards? Or would you rather seek out your own truth and discover who you are along the way? Mulling your question over, Cerberus spends the rest of the chore in solid silence. Stolid silence. As you finally sketch the last of the sigils onto the front door of the house, she speaks. Even if the knowledge might be tricky to accept, we owe it to ourselves to try and draw it out. Yeah, we aren't afraid of anything. Reaching out a hesitant finger, Cerberus moves slowly towards the signal of the door. Half an inch from the surface, her fingers runs into an invisible barrier. She pushes forward regardless, sweat bending on her forehead as the two bodies move to support her arm and guide it forward. We don't know where we come from or how we came to be. If Lucifer won't tell us, not properly anyways, then we do know someone who might. Someone who knew enough about us to stop us in our tracks, who I bet we could convince to spill any secret she may be carrying. Cerberus looks up at you, a predatory grin in her crimson eyes. Hey Taker, how about we go mom hunting again this weekend? Ignoring the sinking feeling in your stomach, you put on a smile. Sounds great, Cerberus. Wow, that one was really deep. Especially for Cerberus, who was more or less just like... The first one was more just like a fun little trip to the park, and then the second one was her hunting, what was it, Mammon? I think it was. But this one was a lot deeper. She was trying to find who she was. Oh, okay. Actually, I really like that animation too. It's pretty adorable. But anyway, that concludes this video. Hopefully the video will sound just as good, if not better. That's my hope anyway. But anyway, all my social media's down in the description. Want to go check me out there. And if you want, you can leave a like to show support for the video. It does actually help a lot more than I thought it would. So I should probably start mentioning it. And leave a subscribe too if you think you like this content. I always cover visual novels when I can, especially Second Circle, because I'm a big Helltaker fan. And with that, I'll leave you all with Molina as the next date. Alright, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.